You're standing on a steel platform in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. The nearest hospital is a helicopter ride away. Beneath your feet, a drill is punching 30,000 feet into the ocean floor. Through rock, through pressure, through layers of gas that want to explode. On April 20th, 2010, that gas found a way out. The Deepwater Horizon rig erupted in a fireball that killed 11 men and spilled 4 million barrels of oil into the ocean. The man who replaced Leo Linder on that shift was among the dead. Leo had left 2 hours earlier. 2 hours between going home and never going home. This is what it's like to work on an oil rig. You're 21 years old. You're from a small town in Louisiana, or Texas, or Oklahoma. The kind of town where oil isn't an industry, it's the reason the town exists. Your grandpa worked the rigs. Your uncle works the rigs. Half the guys you graduated with work the rigs. Or the rigs. The other half wish they did, because it pays. And it does pay. You hear the numbers. $50,000 to $60,000 your first year as a roustabout, the entry-level grunt. No college required, no degree, no resume. Just a strong back, a willingness to work 84 hours a week, and the ability to not flinch when the drill floor shakes. By year 3, you're a roughneck making $60,000 to $80,000. By year 5, a driller making $80,000 to $120,000. Senior guys, tool pushers and offshore installation managers, $140,000 to $200,000. In a town where the average household income is $40,000, that's royalty money. So you sign up. You pass the physical. You pass the drug test. You do your basic offshore survival training. They throw you in a pool, flip a helicopter simulator upside down, and teach you how to escape while submerged. That should tell you everything about what you're getting into. They teach you how to not die in a helicopter crash before you ever step foot on the rig. Then the chopper takes you out. An hour over open water. Nothing but blue in every direction. And then you see it, a steel city sitting on stilts in the middle of the ocean. That's your home for the next 14 days. Maybe 28 if you're on an international rig. You won't see land, your family, your bed, or a single tree until your rotation ends. You are as isolated as a human being can be without leaving the planet. The standard rotation is 14 days on, 14 days off. You work 12-hour shifts every day of your hitch. That's 84 hours a week. No weekends. No evenings off. You wake up, eat, work 12 hours, eat, sleep, repeat. For 2 straight weeks. The rig runs 24/7. The drill never stops. Day shift, night shift. The sun rises and sets, and you barely notice because the noise is constant. The drill floor vibrates through the steel. The generators hum at a frequency that gets inside your skull and lives there. And the work is brutal. As a roustabout, you do everything nobody else wants to do. You clean, you paint, you haul, you carry. You stand on a platform coated in mud, grease, and drilling fluid. A chemical cocktail that stains your skin and burns your eyes, and you do whatever the driller tells you to do. As a roughneck, you're on the drill floor, handling pipe, connecting drill sections that weigh thousands of pounds. One slip, one miscalculation, and that pipe swings and takes your arm off, or your head. The injury list reads like a horror movie credits page. Crushed fingers, severed limbs, burns from steam lines and chemical exposure. Back injuries from lifting equipment in confined spaces. Falls from heights, some fatal, some that just leave you in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. Being struck by or caught between heavy machinery accounts for one of the leading causes of death on rigs. And then there are the big ones. Fires, explosions, blowouts. A blowout is what happened on Deepwater Horizon. Natural gas under extreme pressure surges up through the well, past every safety barrier, and ignites. When a blowout happens, the rig becomes a bomb. You have seconds, not minutes, seconds, to react. The 11 men who died on Deepwater Horizon didn't have time to get off the platform. The explosion ripped through the rig so fast that survival became a matter of where you happened to be standing at that exact moment. 126 people were on board. 11 died. 17 were injured. And the man who was supposed to be on Leo Linder's shift was standing where Leo would have been standing 2 hours earlier. The fatality rate for the oil and gas extraction industry is 27.1 deaths per 100,000 workers, 7 times higher than the national average. During 2003 to 2010, 128 people died in offshore oil and gas operations. Transportation incidents, mainly helicopter crashes, were the leading cause, responsible for 51% of deaths. Think about that. The most common way to die on an oil rig isn't even on the rig. It's the ride there. But the explosions and the helicopter crashes aren't the only way this job kills you. It kills you slowly too. You're exposed to benzene, hydrogen, sulfide, drilling muds, and other chemicals classified as carcinogens. Long-term exposure increases your risk of leukemia, lung cancer, and cardiovascular disease. The noise on a rig, constant 24 hours a day, causes hearing loss that you don't notice until it's permanent. The physical labor destroys your joints, your back, and your knees. You're 45 years old with the body of a 65-year-old. Sound familiar? It should. Except this time, you didn't play in the NFL. You just drilled holes in the ocean floor. And then there's the part nobody puts in the recruitment ad. What the isolation does to your mind. 19% of oil and gas workers experience psychological disorders. 1 in 5. Depression, anxiety, substance abuse. The suicide rate for oilfield service workers is 54.2 per 100,000, one of the highest of any occupation in America. Nearly 15% report substance abuse problems, higher than the national workforce average. And a North Sea study found that only 25% of offshore workers were satisfied with their work-life balance. Because here's the trade-off nobody warned you about. You have 26 weeks off per year. That sounds amazing. Half the year, free. But those 26 weeks aren't vacation. They're recovery. You come home and your body hurts. Your sleep schedule is destroyed. You've been working nights for 2 weeks, and now you're supposed to sleep like a normal person. Your kids grew an inch while you were gone. Your wife handled every crisis alone. She fixed the car. She went to the school meeting. She put the kids to bed every night for 14 nights, and when they asked, "Where's Daddy?" she said, "He'll be home soon." And you are home. But you're not really home. You're sitting on the couch staring at the wall because your brain is still on the drill floor. You flinch at loud noises. You can't sleep without the generator hum that you hated 3 days ago. And in exactly 13 days, the helicopter comes back. And you leave again. And your daughter cries at the door again. And the cycle starts over. The divorce rate in the oil industry reflects this. Workers openly acknowledge it. You miss half your kids' birthdays, half the anniversaries, half the small moments that build a life. Some guys use their off weeks to build businesses, travel, live cheaply, and save aggressively. They make it work, but others drink. They gamble. They self-medicate. And when oil prices crash, as they did in 2014 and 2020, and again, in cycles that repeat like clockwork, they get laid off. Overnight. The rig shuts down. The paycheck stops. And the town that exists because of oil starts to die with it. Because that's the final truth nobody tells you. The oil industry doesn't care about you. It cares about the price of a barrel. When oil is $80, you're essential. When oil is $40, you're a line item. In 2020, Tens of thousands of oil-field workers were laid off in months. Rigs shut down across the Gulf. Towns in Texas and Louisiana that had boomed suddenly went quiet. Men who had made $100,000 a year were applying at Home Depot. The industry that built their lives dismantled them with the same efficiency it used to drill a well. Years pass. You're 42 now. You've survived 20 years on the rigs. Your back is shot. Your hearing is going. You have a scar on your forearm from a steam pipe burn in year 3. You've seen 2 guys get medevaced off the platform. One came back, one didn't. You've been through 3 layoffs and 2 divorces. The money was good. The money was always good. But you spent it fixing the things the job broke. Then one evening, during your 2 weeks home, you're sitting at the kitchen table. Your son, maybe 16, walks in. He's holding a brochure from an oil company recruiter who came to his school. He drops it on the table and says, "Dad, I'm thinking about the rigs. The money's good, right?" And you look at that brochure, and you see the same smiling roughneck in the same hard hat with the same sunset behind the same steel platform. And you remember being 21, the helicopter ride, the first time you saw the rig rising out of the ocean, the first paycheck that felt like more money than God. And you want to grab that brochure and tear it in half. You want to tell him about the night the fire alarm went off and you ran to the lifeboat station, and for 30 seconds, you genuinely did not know if you were going to die. You want to tell him about the chemical burns and the hearing loss and the Christmas mornings you watched on a phone screen from a bunk bed 200 miles offshore. But you look at the town and you look at the options. And you know, like your dad knew, like his dad knew, that the rig pays more than anything else within 500 miles. So you push the brochure back across the table, and you say, "The money's good, son. Just be careful." And the cycle continues.